Hey guys, welcome back to Down on Movies. So this is going to be a new episode of Rank This. Basically it's where I take a series of movies, I rank them, that simple. This is a question I get asked a lot, and that is to rank every single Star Wars movie, in my opinion, rank them to what I think is from the worst to the best. There are so many videos like this out there, but I thought I'd go ahead and take my chance. So let's dive in. So I don't own each individual movie separately, so I'll be raising, like I have the packs of them, a couple of them, so like I will be raising the same thing up to represent which one I'm talking about. But yeah, so let's dive in. So starting off with my least favorite, this is the one that I think collectively a lot of people have this as one of their least favorite ones, and that is Star Wars Episode 2. So as you can see, I have this one to represent, because it has 1, 2, and 3 in it, so I'll be raising it more than once, but Episode 2 is my least favorite one. I absolutely hate Attack of the Clones. Is it necessary for the series? Yes, but I think the acting wasn't as great. The CGI from start to finish just really hurts my feelings. And it's like, and there's a difference. There's a difference between like CGI that doesn't age well and CGI that was just terrible from the beginning. And this one was terrible from the beginning. I think even as a kid, this came out, what, 2002? So I was like 10 or 11. I knew then it wasn't very good. So Episode 2, my least favorite. Now, next is Solo, A Star Wars Story. So Solo isn't the worst of the films, you know? Like, it's not a bad movie. To me, it just isn't necessary. It's not necessary to exist. It wasn't necessary to do anything. There was fan service in it that, you know, like the Darth Maul stuff at the end, like that to me was kind of cool. And nothing against, what's his name? Alden Ehrenreich, whatever his name is. I don't even know his name. No disrespect to him, because he did just fine. Like, if he was playing anyone else, it was blank A Star Wars Story, he would have done just fine. But the thing is, like, he's playing Han Solo. They tried to, I didn't like what they did with his name. I just didn't like a lot. I mean, it just, yeah, it wasn't necessary. Solo. But it was funny is it still beat Attack of the Clones. So next up on the list is, sorry, I have to figure out how to do this. Next up is going to be The Rise of Skywalker. Now, this one, I think they did the best they could, but this just goes back to Disney not really having a plan. I didn't hate it. I just don't think it was very strong, and I think some of these other ones are better Star Wars films, if that makes sense. So, yeah, Rise of Skywalker. Then next is going to be, holding this one up, Star Wars Episode 1. Star Wars Episode 1, I was 8 years old when it came out. I think I respect it more now as an adult. There was so much cooler stuff. Like, I think there's a lot of boring stuff in it, and I think there's a lot of redeeming qualities that make it a better movie, even with all the other things. The whole Darth Maul scene, the score in it, the mystery, because we don't really know we're getting Hayden Christensen just yet, you know. But Episode 1 would be next on my list. Next is going to be The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, I think this is a beautiful film. I didn't like some of the things they did. I think there was a few things I would have changed. But it's not a bad movie for what it is. Like, if you watch it for what it is, it's not a bad movie. I think even though we didn't like a lot of the direction they went, I think Rise of Skywalker could have played to it, and instead they tried to retcon a lot of it. I probably would have liked it more if they would have just continued on with what they did in this one, but obviously that didn't happen, so yeah, The Last Jedi is next. Okay. Next on my list is going to be Star Wars Episode 6. Sorry, my brain shut off. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I like Return of the Jedi. I think my least favorite thing is like the Ewoks, but I think everything I have ahead of this is a little bit stronger, in my opinion. So that is next. Return of the Jedi. Last on this whole disc right here is going to be Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith, the score is amazing, the emotion is great, amazing. It is the best of the acting in this trilogy here. I think there was this was our, at the time, that was going to be our last taste of Star Wars, up until, obviously, the new trilogy. But Episode 3, I think, there was just so many good things. I think at the time, I think people were just so beat up by the first two, you know, I think that they were a little bit harder on the third one. But sorry, my TV was on, and so now it just went to a screen. But Ewan McGregor is the best thing about it, and the best part about this whole series. So there's that. Next is Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Now, The Force Awakens, I actually really enjoy. I remember the hype we all felt that it was coming back, the excitement, the trailer. There's a lot more than just the movie that goes into this one being ranked so high, in my opinion. But I think ultimately, this gave us hope. You know, we didn't know what was coming after it, but this movie gave us hope. It did borrow a lot of themes from the original, or the original ones and things like that. But they had so much potential to bring us back on board and do some things differently. And then they tried that, and it pissed a lot of people off. So it is what it is. But this one ranks a little bit higher for me. Next is Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. A New Hope, you know, I think as a kid, for me, I think that was the most boring one. Obviously, I wasn't born when it came out in the theater, so I didn't have that excitement. I think I just remember watching it a lot as a kid and liking it, but I didn't really fully understand it. Now as an adult, it represents so much more. To me, I didn't really like Luke Skywalker back then, but then you didn't realize, like, you know, as a kid, you don't realize, some people do, but you don't really pay attention to the fact that it's about character growth and him becoming this young kid who's kind of whiny to this, you know, the savior of the world, you know, or the universe, you know. So Episode 4, I still hold true that I think, in my opinion, one of the best scenes in movie history is going to be him staring off to the two suns, because I think, like, it just represents hope. It represents everything, you know, that we needed him to be and everything. So, yeah, Episode 4. Now, we only have two left. My second. So this is my second favorite Star Wars movie, and that is Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Now, I don't know how many people rank this one that high, but I think it is it's beautiful to look at. Two, it's cool to have that side story to connect to New Hope. I think this was really, it was one of the best Star Wars movies that didn't involve, like, Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to see something different that, yes, it connects to the original story, but it doesn't have Luke in it. It does have Vader, and they do some fan service stuff, but the fan service stuff didn't bother me that much because it was still its own thing. And I think this is kind of the best example of doing a story that doesn't have Luke in it. I know they want to kind of branch away from all that stuff, and to do that, you don't need to connect it to the original story, but it didn't have the original characters in it except for the few fan service moments. So, Rogue One. And that means my favorite of all time, Empire Strikes Back. Now, this one is one of those, like, it has the biggest reveal of all time, like, plot twist. You get introduced to Yoda in it. Like, Luke is building up something strong, you know, to be the Jedi we need him to be. Han Solo dies at the end, like, or gets frozen in carbonite. I think this one had... Basically, this one was a successful version of what a middle movie should be compared to, like, The Last Jedi. I think The Last Jedi by itself isn't that bad, but if you connect it as a whole, I think it just did so much against what the Force Awakens set up. Like, it just did everything opposite, that it made it hard to do a good third one, you know? But this one left you on a cliff notes. It gave you the soap opera we needed, and it just was everything we needed in a Star Wars movie at the time. So that is it, guys. That is my ranking of the Star Wars movies. There they go, and they all in packs. So let me know down below, what are your favorites? What is your order? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think? But thank you guys so much for watching and showing all the continued support. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Go check out my unboxings I did in giveaways if you haven't already. And stay tuned for some really cool stuff coming up. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.